haven't done an update on what's going on out here in Florida in a while. Been doing car care ministry in here, second Saturday this of each month. This coming second Saturday for September, we're going to skip. We've got a marriage conference that a lot of the folks wanted to go to, so we won't be doing that. But I've been doing a lot of work to make the shop more comfortable and to do some things with the property and neglecting some things just because it's been warm. We've got a new neighbor, so I'll show you a little bit about that. One of the things I've done in the shop, I'm getting tired of we've been using the Google Nest speakers, and they've been working so okay, but not great. They drop out, do weird things. So I picked up some 70-volt speakers, and this is the controller for it. Got it from Rockville. 650 watt amp. So up here in the ceiling, we've got a subwoofer, which is in the plywood, and then I can't figure out which way my hand needs to go. Standard speaker. So I've got two subwoofers, and the other speakers are 6.5 inch. So the subwoofers is what got me started down the 70-volt path. Came from one of the Disney cruise lines. I can't remember which one, but they were refurbing things. I bought a lot of 4 from an auction, and 2 of them are in really good shape. One of them okay, and the other one's parts. But that was okay because I just needed 2 of them. So I bought 4 speakers in addition to those 2 subs and of course the amp. The nice thing about 70-volt is I don't have to run a pair of speaker wires out to each speaker. I could put literally 100 speakers and you just daisy chain from one speaker to the next. The amp has 6 zones. I think I might end up using 2. So I've got the sound system down the center here in the shop, and then over each of the doors I probably will put an outdoor speaker, if not one at the far end of each side of the shop. I'm not sure. But I bought 4 more outdoor speakers so that I can have sound outside. The nerdy thing is the amplifier has an input for a mic, and it's got a little chime button. So when we do car care minister things, we can actually have a PA system to talk to people both in the shop and out in the areas outside. One of the other things that we're doing in the shop to make things a little bit more comfortable is to add some creature comforts. So you may have noticed in the other shots, we've got air conditioning ducting now. So there's a duct that goes down the whole length of the building and then over to our air handler. So we have a 5-ton unit stuck in the corner here. So I'll show you the outside bit here in a second. But the idea is now we can use this both for car care, a little tougher with the doors open and close and so forth. Lets all the cold air out, but depending on the weather, it might be still beneficial. But we can also hold small group in. Now I'm on the other side of it, that's the TV. But we've got kind of a lounge area in there where we can hang out and do that. There's the other half of the air handler. Or is it in the shot? No, it's not. Can't quite see it for the shelving. Oh well. So outside we have the 5-ton air unit all plumbed in. So that should make things a little bit easier. As long as I'm out here. I may have mentioned in some other videos, but we've got a new neighbor. He has gone through and cleared all of the shrubberies in the lot next door. He actually has a dumpster rental company. So he's storing some dumpsters and whatnot, and he's going to build a house. He does medical equipment refurbishment and setup, like dialysis machines and that kind of thing. So the downside is, maybe not be able to see it, but 10 feet off the edge of the shop, it's actually the property line. So he's going to put up a big fence and whatnot along there. So that'll make it a little bit more interesting. Normally, we would go down the side of the building here to bring cars around to Bay 3, which is this back bay door. Now, may have to reevaluate that and bring cars in through that, which means I've got some cleanup to do. Yeah, that's a canoe. Has a bunch of holes in the bottom of it. We're working on getting that fixed up. I can show you a little bit about what we've got going in our our garden shed. So still got the feed in here. We now have a scale. Pick that up at auction so that we can keep track of how much we're feeding the chickens. We had an issue where we lost one of the chickens. We were giving it too much. We're giving the girls too much of the cracked corn and whatnot. So based on how much of the regular feed we're giving them, we're using a 16% pen feed. We know we can give them, well, so that's about 20 pounds a week we give the girls of the regular feed. So they say 10% of that can be something else. So about 2 pounds a week we can give them of the other feed, give or take, and whatnot. Oh, one of the things that we've discovered that's super beneficial here, diatomaceous earth. We put that, so we've got some that we can use. We're using it to dust the chickens' dust bath. You can also use it, but this is the dust bath stuff is food grade. The other garden stuff you could probably eat, but it's not food grade. But it's great for the fire ants and whatnot. I put some of that on the fire ant piles, and they're gone. The queen gets it. Everybody gets it. They all enjoy it, and we don't have a fire ant problem anymore. So, what else have we been doing? I've been trying to work on the garden. Karen wanted to get into gardening, and she's doing a good job. It's just she doesn't like working out here in the heat, which I can understand. So it's gotten a little overgrown. So I went and got some more of these stall mats at Tractor Supply to put over the areas. At least now we won't have to weed around the raised beds, but we've got to take care of that. And I was telling her I tried to pull out some of the grass from that one area there, and that clump, see right there, it pulled out half of the topsoil, so we really can't let that clump grass grow up. What else we got going? So we had an issue with the Cuckoo Marans. They are definitely a hardy chicken, and they're very protective. If you remember, we had one that got injured. We're not quite sure how, but she was probably defending the rest of the flock from whatever attack it was. And she got hurt pretty bad, but she's actually recovered well. But because they're a little ornery at times, they were attacking the other hens, the Splash Americanas and the Buff Orpingtons. So they've been put in isolation. So they're off here in our isolation coop. The rest of the hens are still over in our main coop. I got to get out here. This is the neglect of my part. I got to get out and take the rotary cutter through here and get some of this trimmed down a little bit. But the Orpingtons are doing well. And there's one of the Splash Americanas in the dust bath. So they're doing good. All of our fixes for things have been awesome. Hey girl, you coming up to say hi? So those green pipes I put in, see if I can get this to focus right. The green pipes I put in to protect the waters. They were knocking them off as they get rowdy in here. But since we did that, they have not broken a single one. Been warm, so we got a water bin for them to dip their feet into. I don't think any of these hens do. It was she's following there's a bumblebee. I want to get it. It's outside. I think it was the Marans that were using that foot bath. But anyway, we got a fan when it gets really warm. So I mentioned a little earlier, I'm into getting things at auction and whatnot. So picked up some more furniture for the great room. Great room is our outdoor room in the forest. It's a big room. It's like outside. So there's that. But I picked up that set in these bins here. We've got the cushions for them. got all but one. Oh shoot, I forgot to take that set of cushions in. I need to put those back in the other bin. My bad. But we've also still got this this setting. We had Iron Men out here, guys getting together, talk about their Christian walk and smoke cigars. I know, a little different. Before I forget though, go ahead and put these cushions away. Grab those. This one's got. Luckily, these are all outdoor rated, but they got a little wet. Yeah, they're soaking, but it's gonna rain again. That one's still drip drying, so I'm gonna let it sit for a little while. But I'm gonna close the lid on the others, and hopefully I'll remember to come back before it starts raining in an hour. Put that away. So mosquitoes have been getting up there again. Not terrible during the day like now, but sunrise, sunset times they're not too nice. So I'm not going to go too deep into the forest, just because they're still around. I haven't been able to spray with the fogger like I like to, because it's been raining every afternoon, typical Florida. So when it rains, it rinses all that good stuff I've tried to spray off. And it also has been raining in the evening. So about the time I would want to actually go out and spray, it's raining actively. So today's going to be a unique day because we will have rain right around lunchtime, and then it should finish up. So I'm hoping to get some more of the installation done in the shop. I forgot to show you that stuff. When we wander back over there, I'll update you on that. I also need to realign my shooting range because of my new neighbors. I would show you an overhead map of how this all works out, but basically downrange will be his fence. It's a little bit of an angle towards it, so I've got to realign things. So basically the backstop is I gotta move it from here out a little bit so I can get it more that way. And then I'm gonna move the shooting line basically to the left of where it is now, so more in line with the building. So I've got to get rid of kind of all the scrubbies in here. That way it'll be more this way, parallel with the lot line, instead of, well, at the fence. So I'll show you, the neighbor's been kind of clearing things. I know I don't have a contrasting picture right now, but if you can imagine what it looks like behind me here, that's what this whole property looked like before. You couldn't see any of the trees. It was just all undergrowth, palmetto, muscadine, greenbrier, blueberries, all those kind of things. So, and those dumpsters are there for reference. So, it's nice to have it clear. The deer and the wildlife have kind of adjusted to it. The gopher tortoise, I think, are the ones that lost the most, and there was a couple hawk that lived in here. But I'm sure they the hawk has found a new spot, and I see the gopher tortoises out wandering around every so often. So one of the things I'm going to have to do, because our lot used to drain from over here next to the shop down along through here where the sugar sand is, that we don't really, he's not going to want the water running under his fence. That'll just erode things out. So kind of see this line here that runs, or the string that runs up along there. I've got to get a new path and a new canal cut on my side so that I get the lot draining. Everything on this side of the lot, from the south side of the driveway and part of the house and all of the shop, all come down this way. The rest of the lot drains down the other way. Oh, I had to move, we moved the roof because that was going to be in the way of where the new drain or canal was going to go for us. So here's the current backstop. What I need to do is move that backstop. I haven't quite decided. Originally I thought it might be over here, but then I'd lose this oak tree. So I'm like, do I really want to whack that oak tree? I'd kind of like to keep as many of the oaks on here as I can. So I think the backstop is really going to go in front of the oak tree. And then, see if I can walk over here and give you an idea. So there's the backstop, but it's going to move. So I'm 10 feet right of where the current backstop is, or further away from the lot line. And then it's going to be 10 feet closer to the lot line where the shooting line is going to be. So it should kind of pivot the whole thing. So it should be parallel then. It'll give us a little bit better margin of safety to be able to shoot downrange and not hit stuff. And we'll gain, I don't know, that's maybe 30 feet, 10 yards or so of distance, which I don't really need it for pistol. We were actually moving this stuff up for the pistol, but a little bit better for rifle. I'm going to ask, so Jose is my neighbor, I'm going to ask him if he wants to dump some of the root balls and things over here for a backstop. He's got that whole pile right there, and it's dirt and root balls and other stuff. If I can get some of that stuff that's a little bit on the cleaner side, I can use that part as my backstop. He's got a lot of dumpsters. He can haul stuff away, but I think he's looking for options to get rid of stuff too. So let's go back in the shop and I'll show you a little bit more about what I'm doing with insulation and how that's going. So those aren't fire ants. They're, I don't know, moving around, but this is kind of what we get. These guys aren't very harmful from what I've seen. Just don't mess with them. They don't mess with us. As I make my way back to the shop, see, I still need to get some more of the palmetto that's volunteering back up out. Means I got to get the backhoe on it. It's a bit of work to get the 3-point off the tractor and then put the backhoe on. So I kind of try and group the tasks together. I need to deal with the canals so that we get drainage and whatnot, so that I can use the backhoe for it also. But I need to pluck out a lot of these things. And I'm starting to build another burn pile. So well, I'm almost to the shop. Let me show you what else I need to do for insulation. It is nice having air conditioning in here. So in order to get the building more efficient, I need to insulate the walls. I knew for sure. And then the radiant heat already had a barrier on the ceiling. But heat rises, cold air settles. So I thought, well, let's see how well this does without insulating the roof. What was it, about $2,000 in insulation to do the walls? About $2,500, I guess. I had to do the doors. Doors have a radiant barrier, no insulation. But then to do the roof was going to be about another $3,000. So I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that. But the air conditioning, the 5 tons, does not keep up when it's 100 degrees outside. It should keep it at 80 in here, in theory, 20 degree difference. But it cruises up to around 90 on a 100-degree day, midday. Part of that's because I've got a little bit of wall left I need to insulate. See, there's 3 panels. I did 1 panel yesterday. I was going to hope to do 3 today, but the claim was it was going to be raining starting here in about a half hour. So by the time I got everything out, it was going to be raining pretty hard. So I have to move the Chevy out, and then I've got a bunch of stuff over in this area that needs to get moved. We're also storing the tractor and the side-by-side in here, which we call a farm truck. But it's weird now because I have a farm truck that's a 42 Chevy. But anyway, so now I need to start thinking about, because the 5-ton can't keep up with the air in here on a 100-degree day. I probably need to do these little bits above the wall and the ceiling, and then the whole ceiling. I'll probably start with at the gable edges, because they've got some air leak through there, which is probably not helping, and then start working my way towards the center. But I think I need to get rid of some of my stuff. I've accumulated some things because of the auctions. I would find deals on stuff, and then I might find deals on better stuff. So now I've got 2 or 3 of something, and I may only need, or probably only need 1. So I got to start weeding that out. I wanted like a whiteboard. I've bought a couple of large whiteboards. Originally, I thought I might put them on the wall. As it turns out, I'm putting a lot of storage things on the wall, so I don't have a lot of that. But I did find a rolling whiteboard that has worked out really well for car care ministry, and probably if we end up doing small group out here or whatever, we can always draw diagrams. But this whiteboard here has it's on wheels, so it can be moved around. Yes, I'm still doing the gym out here, trying to get in 3 days a week. But the gym actually is very helpful. Yes, there's an ATV parked in that area, but it's actually out of the way of the weights. I'm mostly using the Smith bench, my pad to get down and stretch, those kind of things. And then I've got the elliptical with the TV over there on the wall. Everything's clear of all that. And the dumbbells I get out and use once in a while. But you just need a place to stand for that. The elliptical, if I didn't mention earlier, that came from Disney Cruise Line also. It was part of the cask property control stuff that we could buy. But I definitely need to get in here and get some stuff cleaned up so that I can work in here a little bit better. We've got another toolbox, so now when we do car care ministry, I've got plenty of space for tools. Of course, the lift, I think you all have seen my workspace and fan and so forth. So that about does the update, I think. Just looking forward to a lot of years of doing ministry and helping folks out here. I've got some great results from friends that we've worked through. I am involved in the deliverance ministry, Soul Care. Rob Reamer has done some great job in teaching us, and Don, our senior pastor, is great at saying, yeah, this is definitely something that's important that people need to do. And I'm just amazed at the freedom that people are experiencing as they go through that ministry and the ministry that I help out with, which is, they call them freedom sessions. So we'll meet with folks 3 or 4 times, walking them through their issues and figuring out where their next step should be and getting them connected to resources, which is kind of what the purpose of the car care ministry is. I've always said I don't really want to fix cars. I want to help people. So cars is just an avenue where we get people who are in need, and we can get them in here, talk to them, pray with them, and start seeing what resources that we can connect them with to get them on their journey, both in life and in their spiritual walk. Anyway, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the little update. If y'all want something else, let me know, and I'll see what I can do.